Hello everybody, in this video we're going to cover how AI can be used by con men, and well, I guess since spies are con men with diplomatic immunity and passports, how the intelligence community can use it too. So let's get into it. So if a con man or intelligence asset or spy, whatever you want to call them these days, I know they go by a lot of names. Back in the day it was to be a clandestine officer, and then of course that changed over time. But let's talk about con men for a second. So when it comes to con men utilizing AI and things like that, how would they utilize it? Well, me personally, one of the things people lack is, well, money. So I'm going to put here the first thing that AI can be used for is, well, creating money. But how, as far as con men are concerned? I'm sure if you live in North Carolina, you heard about the scams that are happening with human trafficking. But what about the scams that are happening with actual currency? So with AI, you can build algorithms to study, let's say, currency, their patterns, their coloring. And then from there, you're able to, well, print off your own currency because we still work with functioning paper dollars. And you could do that with low denominational bills, so on and so forth. And then you can utilize that through any means necessary to pay for whatever. So that's what I mean by, AI can be used by con men to replicate the coloring and everything as such as the time that gets put into creating the dollar and the coloring for itself. Now, not many people counterfeit $100 bills. One, because it's very expensive. Two, not many places accept them. Three, you kind of just stand out if you have a lot of $100 bills. But $1, $5, and $10 denominations are taken and accepted everywhere, as well as $20 bills. So therefore, you can go ahead and then ask for change or whatever the case later on and move it that way. I'm sure you saw what happened with TD Bank laundering money for drug cartels, human traffickers, so on and so forth. They just got fined $4 billion. Imagine if they utilized the capabilities of AI to cover up their tracks. Now you're understanding the world that I'm talking about and why it's so big. Now, moving forward with like intelligence and those guys, well, they can build AI to go ahead and track, what's fake and what's not. But once it looks real, it could be traded for an asset. I'm glad that we mentioned that, because number two, and this is something that can happen for both people, is what about the current assets that are out there right now? Now, what do I mean by current assets? Well, you can fake documentation, you can fake paperwork, but what about something called Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, which does fall into money. However, it is known as a digital asset, right? So digital assets can go ahead and be studied, as well as the behaviors and actions that are taken upon those digital assets. And then AI can be used to replicate whatever digital assets are value, sorry. And both sides can benefit and be used in the trading of assets for information or AI or whatever the case may be. But you always have to trade an asset for information if you wish to obtain a decent amount of information. Now, what else can AI be used for? Well, there's deep fakes. There's things that you can do on separate lines. Let's say you set up a proxy or a channel specifically to your agents, etc., or to your team, and now every time they go and watch a video or something like that, it is personalized to them so that they themselves can get a message, while everybody else is seeing and hearing excuse me, while everybody else is seeing and hearing the same thing. There's something that's specific that stands out in that video based upon what the person said. So if you remember the other videos that I mentioned, I talked about, using your sword and things like that, Bankai and all that, which was from Bleach, an anime thing, but scripting it in such a way that AI can go ahead and use a deep fake, a voiceover, and then put a whole video together replicating what the original looked like, but subtracting and adding in a couple things in there in order to get the person's attention, to get them to train. So you can use this as a fear tool, right? Or fear tactic tool to psychologically mess with people, right? So it can be used for fear. And last but not least, warfare and propaganda. When it comes to warfare and propaganda, how can AI be used? Well, let's really think about this. People ask, well, how can social media affect the political campaigns? My question to you now is, how will AI, deepfakes, voiceovers, and everything else that I mentioned here play into politics and everything else as far as legalities are concerned, what videos are real or not, who's telling the truth, and are you going to use AI to fact check people now and hope that the AI isn't leaning left or right? So these are the things that I'm talking about and discussing in future videos and videos on this channel. If this helped you, go ahead and smash that like button, and don't forget to follow me for more tips like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till next time, Mike City out.